Look at this, it's fake. Quick, record it on your phone and send it to a show that exposes fakes. This ancient tree is just concrete pretending to be real. Isn't this tricking tourists? This really needs to be exposed. Here's another example of something totally fake. The stalactites you see in tourist caves, they're made from cement and burlap. First, they build the shape with metal, wrap it in burlap, cover it with cement, then shape and paint it by hand to make it look natural. That's how they fake it. A bunch of viral videos have shown tourists walking into scenic spots expecting natural beauty or ancient wonders, only to realize they're looking at man-made fakes. So is this just creative decoration, or is it straight-up deception? Today, let's take a look at these absurd sights. At Yuntaishan in Henan, what looked like a beautiful natural waterfall turned out to be a big water pipe pretending to be one. This is the source of the natural waterfall at Yuntaishan. The big pipe is hidden to look like part of the mountain. It pumps water up over 300 meters and the water flows back down from here. The whole waterfall was built around that pipe. Even many ancient buildings turn out to be fake. In early June, part of the Taishan Museum scenic area in Taiyuan collapsed. Piles of broken roof tiles covered the ground. At first, everyone thought real historical sites had been destroyed, until the Shanxi Provincial Cultural Heritage Bureau said, "Relax, those aren't real cultural relics." That's when tourists realized they'd been fooled all along. But the most ridiculous case might be in Xi'an. Many people visit to see the world-famous terracotta warriors, but while waiting for the bus, some tourists were approached by helpful locals offering a shortcut. After a 40-minute ride, we paid and got off the bus. We were excited to finally see the Terracotta Warriors, but when we saw the sign that said Terracotta Warrior Simulation Hall, I knew we'd been tricked. It was our third day in Xi'an, and we still got scammed. And this kind of tourist trap isn't just in Xi'an. All across China, people are realizing that many of the ancient towns built with billions in funding and were once hot online destinations are now turning empty and are abandoned ghost towns. Honestly, this outcome doesn't surprise me at all. I'm someone who loves to travel, but I've never been drawn to these fake ancient towns. They all look the same, cookie-cutter buildings, rushed walkthrough experiences, and nothing that feels authentic. The shops all sell the same stuff, stinky tofu, grilled squid, and cheap trinkets from Yiwu. Sure, the streets are paved with dark tiles and stone slabs, but there's no creativity, no aesthetic, just business, nothing more. When these projects first launched, there was so much buzz, firecrackers, crowds, media coverage. But it didn't take long before they turned into ghost towns. In just a decade, we went from a nationwide build an ancient town boom to a landscape full of empty shells. With 99% of them practically identical, these towns have exposed the cultural tourism industry's illusion of prosperity. The hype has died down, but the mess they left behind is real. Take Zhangjiazhe's Dayong ancient town for example. 348 million invested, and now it's basically just a photo op parking lot. The parking fees actually bring in more money than ticket sales. Or Songfeng ancient town in Jinan, it covers over 650 acres, but 5 years in, the main structures still aren't finished. It's just a field of weeds now. Then there's Chengdu's Longtan Water Village, which costs more than 278 million. It was once praised as a real-life version of Along the River during the Qingming Festival, but now only elderly folks go there to grow vegetables. Reports say there are still hundreds of these abandoned cultural tourism towns across China. Even more shocking, over 23,000 new theme parks have been built, but less than 25% last longer than 3 years. It's not just a financial waste, it's draining people's interest in culture and travel altogether. According to the blogger, it might look like tourists are just losing interest, but the deeper issue is a battle between capital and local governments eager to show quick results. Some officials go deep into debt just to build big, flashy towns in record time without caring whether they're sustainable. Ancient towns are supposed to carry history and culture, not become ATMs for developers or vanity projects for officials. And here's the most ridiculous part. Many of these so-called internet-famous attractions get nationwide investment just by posting a few heavily photoshopped pictures online.
爬了1个小时。
We hiked for an hour to reach this valley, and finally here it is, Yingyue Lake.
在这里，这个就是映月堂。
But don't think this is just one isolated case. It's not. This has become a whole industry. Pay influencers to promote new spots, flood the internet with fake reviews, hype it up, cash in when the crowds show up, and once the buzz dies down, just slap on a new name and do it all over again. It's like a tourist trap factory running on a loop. Take the famous Chaka Salt Lake for example. On social media, it looks like a magical mirror of the sky, something straight out of a dream. But when you get there in person, reality is a slap in the face. You're hit with a 38°C heat, blinding UV rays, and instead of crystal clear water, there's just a patch of murky yellowish salt water that looks nothing like the photos. Even worse, they have cheap cement statues sitting around, and they're actually labeled as rock art. They're so fake it's laughable, but the weirdest part? Despite all this, people still crowd around trying to find the perfect angle, using filters, posing like crazy, determined to turn a sad, empty place into some magical fantasy. Is it really sightseeing or just fooling yourself? These days, the gap between online hype and real-life experience is so big, it's basically a scam. You don't know whether to laugh or cry.
这是网络上的西江千户苗寨。
In the online ads, the women of Xizang, Qianhu Miao Village all look stunning. It makes you dream of a romantic encounter, and some people even drive thousands of kilometers just for that. But once you get there, reality hits hard. It's mostly aunties and older ladies, totally different from what you expected. And remember that famous rooftop in Lijiang that went viral? The video shows someone waking up, stretching, and enjoying a peaceful view of the whole town. Looks so relaxing, but in real life, it's just a photo prop surrounded by trash, and you have to pay 60 yuan just to go up and take pictures. Then there's the cute little train in Hulinbur that looks like it came out of a Ghibli movie. The ad makes it look magical and poetic. You can't wait to book a ticket. But in reality, it's just a few oil barrels pulled by a tractor kicking up dust the whole way. The ride cost 198 yuan, basically paying to be scammed.
一路上尘土飞扬，一圈下来198，妥妥的大冤种体验。
不要来舟山。
Don't bother coming to Zhoushan. It's honestly a huge letdown. Just look at the water. It's yellow. The wind is so strong it blows your hat off, and it's hard to even open your eyes. I have no idea how people manage to take those pretty pictures here. I really don't understand what people are even enjoying.
真的不理解大家到底在玩什么。
And what's even more ridiculous is the trend of copying foreign tourist spots. Now you see little Kyoto, mini Nara, tiny Santorini, and small Switzerland popping up all over the country. There are so many fake versions, it's hard to keep track.
据不完全统计，中国一共有43个小圣堂。
By rough estimates, China now has 43 little Santorinis, 102 Chinese Kyotos, 68 mini Kamakuris, 62 little Switzerlands, and 40 little Naras. Want to create a Japanese-style scenic spot? Super easy. Just add some grass, trees, and a walking path, and boom, you've got little Nara. No path? No problem, just bring in a few alpacas and it still kinda works. For mini Kamakura, the ideal is to have a lake, ocean view, or some train tracks. But even if you don't, just throw in a heavy filter, turn up the colors, and who can tell? With the right camera angle, even a random patch of land can look like a dreamy Japanese photo. And if you want a European-style vibe, even easier, just paint a few buildings blue and white by the water and call it Little Santorini. Never mind if the paint's faded or peeling, just edit the photos later to make it look exotic and romantic. Analysts say it all boils down to this. Local governments want to show off results to attract investment. Developers want fast returns, and influencers are desperate to cash in. So everyone's selling illusions. But in the end, it's the regular tourists who pay the price, wasting their time, energy, and money chasing something fake. And this whole scam game isn't just about the scenery, it's baked into every part of the tourist experience. Have you ever come across sapphire, ruby, or pink gems being sold at tourist spots? They look shiny and fancy, but a lot of them are just colored glass. And those bright, colorful gemstones, stacked together in piles, most people are smart enough not to buy. But if someone pulls out just one, puts it in a nice box, and has a tour guide hype it up, suddenly it looks tempting, right? Now let's talk about those jade pieces. If you look closely, there's no natural texture at all. They're completely fake. At tourist sites, these are often hyped as top-grade jade, but they're really just synthetic, super cheap in bulk. Even those so-called white jade bangles are usually just low-quality glass or something called Mongolian material pretending to be the real thing. Some bloggers have pointed out that even turquoise, which can be priced pretty high, is often a near-worthless fake, so cheap that geologists don't even bother classifying it. And the craziest part? These fake stones, costing just a few dollars, are sometimes displayed in ancient town markets with labels like Warring States Jade or Western Joe Artifact. Throw in a fake expert certificate and they'll try to sell it to you for $50,000 or $60,000. It doesn't stop there. Lots of colorful jade, tourmaline, and crystal pieces are just basic quartz that's been dyed to look expensive. So here's the bottom line. When you visit a tourist spot, don't waste your money on stuff like silver bowls or silver ingots. A lot of it is totally fake. Even those so-called investment-grade silver bars, complete scams. They look shiny and legit, but once you melt them down, you'll see it looks like this. One person even shared a crazy story from Xishuangbanna. Right after we got off the high-speed train in Xishuangbanna, we walked out of the station, ready to grab a taxi to our hotel. There was a whole line of cabs, all neatly lined up. We walked up and told one of the drivers where we were going. Without hesitation, he said, $11. But if they used the meter, it would only be $2.70. We were stunned, but the driver didn't blink. He just said, "Don't want it? No problem. I'll wait for the next person." Then a few other drivers nearby joined in, yelling, "Go ahead and complain. See if you can even get a taxi for tens of dollars. Is this how they do tourism here? Do they just treat tourists like suckers during holidays?" And it's not just there. Another woman who went to Weizhou Island also shared her own nightmare experience. Weizhou Island? If you can avoid it, seriously, just skip it. Going there felt like walking straight into a scam. The whole island gives off this desperate energy, like they're trying to squeeze every penny out of tourists. The first thing that annoyed me was right after getting off the ferry. You have to go through another security check. I was confused. We already did one before boarding, so what's this for? Turns out it's just a sneaky way to charge you an entrance fee. You're forced to buy a $13.60 ticket, or they won't even let you through the gate. So basically, the second you step foot on the island, you're already spending money, even if you don't do anything. Just getting there costs $25 for the ferry plus $13.60 for the so-called ticket. That's $41.70 gone before your vacation even starts. And then came the part that really ticked me off. At Shiliukou Beach, our family of 4 wanted to rent some beach chairs and an umbrella. We saw a setup with 4 chairs and a table under an umbrella. Asked the guy how much, he said $13.90. We paid, but right after we transferred the money, he came over and took one of the chairs away. I asked, "What are you doing?" He said that the price only included 3 chairs. If we wanted to keep all 4, we had to pay more. I mean, seriously, you set up 4 chairs, saw 4 of us sitting there, didn't say a word, and only after we paid, you pulled this trick? Come on, it's just a cheap scam. Might as well just reach into my wallet and take the money directly. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with a friend. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.